Everyone, thank you. It's 6:30. It's Monday, August 8th, so we're going to start the meeting of the Board of Selectmen. If you'll stand for a Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Okay. So as we begin tonight's meeting, as we do sometimes, we actually have a few public announcements. The first one is a proclamation, and I would like to read it. And I think this might be a surprise to someone in the room. Richard Hanna.
I guess so.
So, Mr. Hanna's right here, so this might be a surprise.
Yes, it was.
Guess so. Well done. Yeah. All right, so I will read it to you, and then we would love to congratulate you, but here it is, okay? All right, so a proclamation for Richard Hanna, August 8th, 2016. Whereas Richard Hanna has served as manager of the Abington Farmers Market and has been the go-to maintenance person at the Abington Community Garden for the past 5 years. Whereas Richard Hanna has mowed the lawns from Plymouth Street to the back of the gardens, around the fence, keeping the entrances safe and open for gardeners and visitors. Whereas Richard Hanna, with the help of his sons, marked out all the individual garden plots for the community garden and made a composting pile and hoses available to the gardeners. Whereas Richard Hanna has devoted many hours of hard work and helped with every aspect of these projects, and our gardens and produce were much better because of his input and efforts. Now, therefore, we, the Abington Board of Selectmen, on behalf of the town of Abington and its residents, thank Richard Hanna for his time and commitment to the Abington Farmers Market and the community garden. His vast knowledge and willingness to help everyone are very much appreciated. Abington would-be farmers will miss his presence at the garden and farmers market, as well as his sage advice. Thank you, Dick, for bringing us closer to our roots. Thank you.
The microphone's right there if you want to.
You're welcome.
This big guy.
Thank you.
Thank you if you want.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words? I mean, you've done your time. The microphone is yours.
Totally up to you.
We didn't prepare you.
Talk about the soccer field?
No. Yes,
That
we
turned
can
on?
tomorrow morning at 8:30 if you'd like to.
I'd like to thank everybody, the Board of Selectmen. This is a great honor. I thought Bill was coming up to do this. But again, thank you. It was a lot of fun. Maybe we can do something again next year. We'll see how everything turns out up there. So, again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone want to take a break or anything? We're good? Okay. All right. Thank you again. Super. And thank you to the town manager's office for putting it together and for being very quiet about it.
It's not always easy.
All right, another thing, actually, so another under the public announcements, I have two things, but actually I'm going to turn it to you, Rick, if you will, to talk about the DPW.
Oh, just briefly, I think just to solve any, not solve any, but to recognize, I know most people, a lot of this people in this room are aware, but effective July 1, John Stone, who has been our superintendent for approximately 11 years, has been named as the permanent first Public Works Director of the town. I know all of you know him for many years, and then some. And I think one of the things that I think we find impressive about him, not only has he run a pretty darn good sewer commission, sewer department for many years, but his efforts with regard to our interrelationships with Brockton, which is critical, as some of you know. I've worked with Brockton on the sewer contract. And some of our other neighbors, he's really well regarded in the region, not just within the town of Abington itself. So without a lot of fanfare, John didn't want a lot of fanfare. We were happy to go with the photo op with the family, or as subtle as John would like to have made it. So, but I do think it's important for everybody to know that that is the case, and I know that the board's been aware of it for quite some time, but just to make it public and get it out there, if those of you who may know John, but don't see him that often, extend a good word to him and congratulate him, because he's certainly earned it, and he's got a lot of work to do. So, so I'm glad we appointed him permanent before he had a chance to say no, but that's the way it is, so thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I would agree wholeheartedly with the town manager's comments. Having worked with John through all our years in the budget process and all that when I was on the finance committee, super guy, numbers together, really, people enjoy working for him, so I would also extend my congratulations to
Yeah,
him.
and he's got a big challenge, but he's up for it, so, thank you.
And the first DPW, too, so that's kind
Yeah.
of nice, too, combining resources. So, along the lines of public announcements, I'm going to make one more here. We've been asked to make a public announcement. The Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation is considering the purchase of a property containing 45-plus acres of primarily undeveloped land located off Chestnut Street. The property is adjacent to Ames Knoll State Park. If acquired by the state, regarding the proposed use of land, DCR will retain the property as an expansion of the Ames Knoll State Park for open space and passive recreation. We had to make that public notice, but of course, that is something that we've been talking about many times, formerly known as part of the Porecki Farm.
Right.
So,
Right, and that's a requirement of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, just to make sure that was read publicly. Not a requirement of the town of Abington, but their requirement for their procurement purposes, so.
fabulous, thank you. And now, along the other lines, public announcements, something that we do. If any of the Board of Selectmen have any public announcements they'd like to make, now is the time.
I would like to congratulate Abington's two newest Eagle Scouts. They were inducted into the Eagle Court of Honor yesterday, Connor Bergen and Christian May. Congratulations to them and to their families. That's an accomplishment well done.
Thank you, Andy. Anything else?
Just want to praise the fire department, the police department. They've had a busy, probably last week, and this weekend we had a big fire, and my understanding is a couple of the firemen were off duty, and they actually came and grabbed the new truck, the new fire truck, and that was an integral part of keeping that fire to spread to the house that was really close next to it. So congratulations in this hot weather, and kudos to the fire and the police. They've been busy the last couple weeks. There's been other fires too that have gone under the radar, but they've been very busy and done a good job.
They sure have. All right, thank you. Thanks for bringing that up, Ken. Anyone else have anything to bring up? Nope. All right, then let's get into the business of the agenda today. Public appointments. It's 6:35. We're good. We can start this.
Before you start, I'm going to recuse myself on this. My wife sits on the board of directors at Abington Bank, so they do have a bit of an interest in this.
Okay, thank you. All right. So on the agenda is Phil Hamrick, request for a new officer, director, transfer of stock, pledge of license, Squires Loft, DBA Timber Lanes, 640 Bedford Street. Is there someone here on behalf? Thank you.
That would be me.
Thank you so much. Mr. Hamrick, right? Welcome. All right, so we have some paperwork here, if you want to sort of give us
Too much
a rundown. Just give us an idea of what's going on, we'd be happy to hear it.
My business partner and I have bought each other out. And so I know instead of 50-50 in the stock and the directors, it's me. So there's nobody new coming in. I presume the ABCC and you folks would want to know that.
You would.
And as a result of that, I did borrow some money, and the Abington Bank would like me to pledge the liquor license to make sure I don't sell the property and run out on them, I guess.
Understood. Is that, and that, I imagine that's normal process?
I've never had to do it before, but I hear it is normal. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It is.
It is a normal process.
I know they can trust me. I don't know why they would want to know that, why they would know that, but.
Well, I'm sure they could. You've been in business a long time. And any, guys have any questions or any?
No.
Asks? No?
How long have you been up there, Phil?
30 years.
30
Don't I
years?
look it?
No, not at all.
You must have started at 6.
I almost didn't make it today. I almost didn't finish counting the money.
Please. If
Oh, hey.
you wouldn't have had to get a loan if you had.
This isn't open mic night now.
Yeah, that's right.
But you can certainly do a plug for Timber Lanes.
Well, I suppose I could, yeah.
All right.
I've never had any complaints from this establishment. I think he's done a great job in 30 years and does a lot with the community, too. and we appreciate it. Thank you.
I would make a motion to approve the request for new officer, director, transfer of stock pledge of license for Squires Loft.
Second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All set.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. All right, and I think we have to sign something here, right? So
Yes.
we have to.
You're all set.
No, we.
you're all set. Phil.
We have to sign it so that it gets sent in. So we'll do that tonight, Ms. Dim. Thank you very much. All right, being that it is 6:40, Jillian Crowley, request to hold annual Vasilian Road Race, November 5th, 2016. Ms. Crowley, are you here? Are you there? Hi there. Hi. Come on up. Yeah, you can go ahead. All right, you can look if you want. All right. Hi, thank you for coming.
Thank you for
today.
having us.
You're very welcome. So what we have here, and you can fill us in, so started to plan the Sergeant Vasilian Road Race for this November. Do you want to give us some details, or?
Yep, so this year, we wanted to hold the race on Sunday, November 6th at 10 a.m. It may say Saturday the 5th. We had a change to that within the past couple of weeks, just due to some scheduling conflicts.
It's
We have
actually-
been in contact with the Abington Police Department and the Highway Department with the change of date and the Beaverbrook School as well.
So Sunday, November 6th?
Yep,
right?
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
We'll be doing the same route that we did last year out of the Beaverbrook School. The only difference is that this year it's not held on Veterans Day. We're trying for the Sunday before Veterans Day just because of some scheduling conflicts. It allows the American Legion to be a little bit more a part of what we do that day, and some other families that can't be around or make it because there's a lot of other events that happen on that day.
There sure are, that's right. And is it a 5K, or is it for
Just
10?
due to how the route with the cemetery and everything, it's 3.5 miles. So we're just calling it a road race instead of a 5K.
All right. And how many?
What time does it start?
We're going to do 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
And how many people do you usually have running?
The first year we had about 700. Last year we had a little over 600 registered, but probably only a little over 300 that crossed the line because it was torrential downpours. But they still
The weather
showed
was
up.
not very good.
It's not very
Did you
good.
cross the line?
I did.
You did.
I crossed the line.
Thank you.
All right.
It's a great race, it is. It's, the route is excellent.
It is.
It
It's very
certainly
good.
is. And for a good cause, you know, you guys are very, very, very good to the town. Thank you for that. You guys have any questions at all, concerns? Nope. And you've talked to the police, and they're all good?
Yep.
We're all on board. All right, so we'll,
They need a motion on this, or it's just,
Yes.
okay.
Motion to accept the Vasilian Road Race on November 6th at 10 a.m.
Second?
okay, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're very
you.
welcome.
Good
Thank
luck.
you
Luck
for
with it.
continuing it. Best wishes on some good weather that weekend. All right, thank you very much, guys. Good luck. All right, and so now to the action and discussion items of the day. First off, we've got some open session meetings, meeting minutes to approve. It's for July 18th. Let's see, who was here July 18th?
Everyone but me.
Everyone but you, okay. I know we did some amending to that, so all the amendments are in this, all the corrections. I'd entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the open session meeting minutes for July 18th.
So moved?
Right, and anyone second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, great, thank you very much. Next on the agenda is approval of purchase and sale agreement, 101.
Madam Chairman, I'm going to step down on this one, okay?
Certainly, thank you. Thank you, Alex. So this is for 101, 105, 109 Glenowitz Way. This is something that we've been discussing also, actually, ever since even the town meeting, even before that. So,
Yes, what's in front of you is the purchase and sale agreement recommended by town council for the 3 lots in Glenowitz Way. Obviously, I know there was conversation in the appropriate forum among the board members. Obviously, the number one issue, the pricing structure, was obviously agreed to by the owner, and the purchase and sale was amended from the proposal by the owner to that recommended by town council. So,
and though there are 3 pieces here, because there's 3 lots, it's all
Yes.
wrapped up into one purchase price.
correct, correct. And should you agree to go forward tonight without further discussion, those would be, I need 3 signatures on 3 documents, but that's where we are as of now, so.
Do we need to go into any detail of this? I mean, I know we've talked about it from multiple times.
Might just want a little bit, just for the people at home. Just
All right.
price and that kind of.
Sure.
Do you want to do that? You want me to do it? I got it right here.
Never step on your toes, Madam Chair. Go right ahead.
Okay, for those who have heard about it and those who have not, basically, this is something that was discussed over the last probably 4 or 5 months or so and brought up at town meeting. It's the town signing a purchase and sale, just to purchase 3 parcels of land located at 101, 105, and 109 Glenowitz Way, right down here, beyond, just as you turn onto Glenowitz Way on your right. And basically, it's a purchase for the 3 parcels for a total purchase price of $575,000. Closing date to be August 19th, 2016, unless extended by agreement of both parties. And this was, there was appraisals done and all that.
Correct,
so-
title search, appraisal, et cetera.
And town approved this, for us
Yes,
to move
the,
forward with it, so.
Correct. The amount, again, the $575,000 is what was approved at town meeting after negotiations. And again, I don't know how it's necessary, but obviously the owner was seeking a lot more than that initially, and the price that was agreed to was very close to the appraisal price, and that's what town meeting approved, so.
There was a lot of reasons to consider this. It is right near the new school and potentially parking, potential other uses for it,
Correct.
so.
Right.
Anyway, so I'll take, do we need a motion for this?
Yes.
Madam Chairman, I have a question before we
Yes.
go there.
Uh-huh.
Does the town take on any responsibility for drainage? Because I notice there's no drainage on the property at all. I mean, it's literally an earth ground lot that's been filled in over a period of time that received permits to do so, but there really is no drainage associated with it on either side of the property. I was wondering what the town's responsibility was for drainage on that property if we take it on.
Yeah, well, should there be any construction of any sort on the property, or the town would be responsible for any drainage requirements. As of right now, as you know, there's no specific plan, other than perhaps overflow parking, but as the school project goes forward and there's additional conversation about what needs might exist, it's not out of the question that there could be additional requirements, but right now, the only thing that's envisioned is possible additional parking, overflow parking. However, I think it's obvious to everybody that that over time, the needs of the town may change. I know some of the conversation we had, this is an opportunity that exists at the moment, may not exist in a year or two, and it may very well be that, not to date any of us, but future leaders may be making decisions about what to do on that property beyond possibly parking, so.
Thank you.
Right. Any other questions or entertain a motion to approve this?
I move we approve it.
Anyone second?
Second?
Okay, second. Any further discussion?
Just one question on the August 19th date, is that pretty much set in stone, or is it
No, that will be
extended?
probably extended based upon the ability to produce a check, depending on, so that is still, could be, but the purchase and sale presumably still has to be approved by the owner, who may decide not to sign it, but highly doubt it.
And the agreement that we're here does make an opportunity, should it be extended by agreement of the parties. This would still hold true. Okay. Other questions, concerns, comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's unanimous. Thank you,
One
guys.
abstention.
Thank you.
One abstention, oh, I'm sorry, and one abstention, yes, of course. Thank you very much. Thanks for pointing that out. All right, so we have these things we have to sign before the end of the night, and we'll have them available for the Board of Selectmen to sign. Next, we want to, if you've been paying attention, we've been having a lot of discussion with regard to a potential dog park, and of course, the setting up of a dog park committee. Ken, is this something that you want to take, or?
Alex and I are kind of handling this. I'll speak first, and whatever I don't forget to say, Alex can take over.
I'm sure you'll get it all.
Okay.
I won't.
I'll stop you at some point and throw it to Alex.
We fell short at the last meeting of explaining exactly where our proposed dog park will be, and I will unveil that right now. To the left of the Abington Senior Center, the town received property as a donation. It's in the amount of 5.73 acres. It was accepted by town meeting vote. It basically is, the front of it is wet, so it has, the only right-of-way is into the senior center. So I know that Alex reached out, and myself reached out to the Suzanne de Justburg, the senior center, who's in charge of the seniors in town, and she seemed to be in favor of it, and I think she gave us her blessing, if
She
that's
did.
correct. We walked the property with members of the dog park committee who were here tonight, and there's a lot of great land there, and it really can't be used for too much else. There will still be, and we could share the parking lot with the senior center. And the good thing is, I think the peak times, if there truly are going to be peak times for a dog park, are going to be in the afternoon, after work, and that sort of thing, when the senior center is not being used for the most part. So we thought it was a win-win situation. We talked about the dog park itself at the last meeting. We can go over that if you want, but I think the only concern we have is we might have to mark the land to see. We walked it, and there's some parts that are wet closer to the front, up closer to Summer Street, but further back seems drier, so we'd like to mark it and see where we can put stuff. And we'd like to put it in the woods a little bit, maybe a little path to go in, so there's no, so you can't see it from the street, so that it doesn't bother anybody that's playing pickleball at the pickleball courts or that sort of stuff. Alex?
We chose this, excuse me. We chose this spot after looking at several because of the parking situation, because there are very few residents living around there, and because it's town-owned land. We would have to have it flagged. What we're going to be looking for tonight is the blessing of the board to go forward with this location. We don't know exactly where in the 5.5 acres yet. That would depend on flagging of the wetlands and access and how we're going to do it. We would like to do it probably as close to the parking lot as we could and come in with a path, but it does drop off quite a bit. So, we'd have to have someone look at it, and part of the grant money,
Thank you.
they will pay for the flagging of the wetlands and other things. There was some statements made on Facebook, and Facebook's kind of getting out of control lately, but anyway, that some of the money was coming from the taxes. Absolutely none of this money for the dog park is coming from tax money. If we don't raise the 10% by donations, we cannot get the grant. If we don't raise the 10% by donations, we don't do the dog park. It's that simple. So I just want that out there, that it is no money from the town.
The only thing from the town is the land, that's it.
Right.
The town, it's town-owned land. The town hopefully will allow us to go forward, apply for the grant, and go forward with the dog park. The first step in applying for the grant is we need town-owned land. We're looking for 20 to 30,000 square feet probably of the 5.5 acres.
Which would still leave plenty of the property if the senior center want to expand or to increase some of the things that they want to do up there.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I think I remember from last time, even upkeep can be, you can get money for upkeep
Yes.
through the grant as well.
First-
Just in case anyone's wondering about that.
You get money for the design, and then once that's approved, they will give you money for all the construction, the land, and all that kind of stuff. And then you can apply for more grants for the next 3 years for upkeep.
Right. And as we discussed also, oftentimes a lot of the upkeep, if you will, is people who are there.
It would be volunteers, a lot of it. I mean,
But
there
like picking
would
up
be
after your
some
own
work
dog
for
and that type of thing.
DPW down the road, maybe maintaining a fence or whatever, but
As with
no
any-
more so than any other park or playground we have in
Exactly.
town.
And a need has obviously been expressed, and, kudos to those on the committee and those who have helped to find this type of funding and grant. So, very good. So what do you need, anything more?
Just a question on
Yes,
the grant.
please.
How long does the grant process take? Do you have any idea? Or?
It's an ongoing process, which means that there's no apply by September 1st. Town of West Bridgewater recently used the grant for their part, that they're building now. And Tim Warner, who's on our committee and has worked with the designer of that part, we have that answer more specifically. I know we're estimating like 6 to 8 months.
So it wouldn't be something that would be built until probably in the spring? Is that probably the case? or-
Coming next year.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would think that next spring and summer would be construction time.
Okay.
And it's not a competition grant, so in other words, you're not competing against other towns. You apply, and you fit the criteria, you get it. It's amazing.
Amazing.
And the estimated cost, we're thinking 50 to 70,000 probably.
I mean, they can be as big or as basic as we want them to be.
Right.
The grant will fund up to,
Hun-
I'm sorry, up to $200,000.
Up to $250,000.
But you got to come up with 10%.
Right.
And where should people go if they want to donate, or if they want to write a check, or?
I think that's the next thing. How are we going to handle the donations for this?
Well, we don't have a gift account at the moment, so.
Need more gifts,
I think,
gift accounts.
We need,
Gonna put that on the next agenda for the board to approve if that's what you wish.
Since it's going to be a town-owned
Right.
facility, we'd have to do it that way.
And certainly any donations we get prior to the board's next meeting will ensure get segregated until the board decides to, whether or not to set up a gift account, so.
At this point, we haven't solicited any money because
There's nowhere to put it.
it's not quite time yet.
Okay.
Once we get approval for the land, then we can definitely go forward with that. We're talking about, kind of piggybacking on the Oktoberfest events that are going on in town, maybe a fundraiser with that.
Good idea.
if I could, these grants will cover up to 100% of the design costs and 90% of the construction costs. Grants typically range from $100,000 to $250,000. Annual follow on capital grants for repair and improvement equal to 5% of the construction costs are available for 5 years following the opening of the park.
Oh, wow.
Town contributions just require land, and we actually provide water to the, so we can
right.
just,
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
And the 10% of the
Which
construction
we
costs.
have at the senior center.
Yes, so, and the grant process is not competitive. Proposals will be awarded to all towns that can make these required contributions. It's called the Stanton Foundation.
So tonight was just, was for a further update, which we just got. So you're not asking us to,
We would
Oh, wow.
ask for a vote of the board to allow us to go forward on that land.
then I would entertain a motion. That's it.
Motion to go forward with starting the procedures of forming a dog park on the parcel of land abutting the senior center.
Second.
Second that? Okay, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, great. Good luck. Awesome.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
Go get some donation, ladies.
And then, and like we said, we'll put it on the agenda for next meeting or so to establish a gift account, so that you guys can be ready for that.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thank you so much,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for putting your time and attention into that. Truly appreciate it. All right, next on the agenda, we're here to discuss special review of special municipal employee status. I've said that a million times. Come up. So, special municipal employee status is something that, is it every year this comes up?
Yes.
Yes, I thought so.
Requirement.
So, who wants to take this and introduce what we're doing here? Adam, you got it.
What are we doing here? Oh, here is the list, okay.
We have the list here.
Reviewing
Okay.
the list like we do every year as to whether or not to continue special municipal employee status for these positions.
I think someone should kind of explain.
Describe what special
yeah,
municipal employee status is.
Andy,
There
I
is a
think
thing.
that would be good for you.
Because of your special skills.
You want to jump on that?
Special municipal employee status is something that the Board of Selectmen has the discretion to grant to part-time employees, public officials, so that they can basically represent folks in front of other boards and committees. That's one of the purposes of granting special municipal employee status. So, I don't know, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago, we established a policy that you have in your package detailing what the rationale is for the policy and whether or not we should grant special municipal employee status. And part of the policy is to review it, the list of special municipal employee positions on an annual basis. When we first started, I think just about every position in the town had special municipal employee status. We did pare it down substantially, and we've taken votes to pare it down more. We've added some positions in the past as well. So we're here today to vote again on the list that we have in front of us as far as continuing those positions as having special municipal employee status.
And if I could just comment on that, too, even though it says special municipal employee, we often go through this, the person doesn't have to be hired, doesn't have to be elected, doesn't have to be compensated. it's providing a service to the town.
Yes,
Kind of.
an elected or appointed official, yeah. Generally is somebody who seeks special municipal
Hired,
employees.
elected, or appointed, whether or not they receive compensation.
So everybody that's on any board in town is a municipal employee.
Correct.
Not necessarily special.
That's a little confusing, I
That's
think,
right.
to a lot of people.
Yes, everybody is a municipal.
Zoning
employee.
board, conservation, they are all employees of the town, whether they get paid or not, whether they're elected or appointed.
For this particular statute, yes. they're
Right.
As far as the
considered, yes.
Commonwealth of Massachusetts is concerned,
Yes.
correct,
Yep.
yes.
And in order for somebody to represent somebody in front of another town or board who is a municipal employee, an elected or appointed official, they need to be designated a special
Right.
municipal employee.
Whereas Board of Selectmen members are all, by definition, we are special municipal employees.
We are not.
We are
special.
not,
We
that's
cannot-
right, we're not, that's right.
Cannot be.
Obtain that
Nice
status.
try.
I misspoke. No, you're right, we can't be, that's
That's
right.
right.
So,
But
for
these other
example, I
folks,
could not represent
that's right.
one
You
of my
can't see 'em.
neighbors before zoning
No.
or conservation or any other board.
That's right.
You could go and speak, but you just couldn't say, I'm representing these people.
Yes, yes.
Right. So having said
I
that.
I think primarily what it is for is to, I mean, it is to give some folks a little more flexibility, but I think the fact that the whole purpose of an elected person or an appointed person being a municipal employee for the purposes of this statute is so that there aren't divided loyalties, right? So somebody who is serving as, let's say, on the Finance Committee, as the chairman, like you were, Maureen, of
Yeah,
the
that's
Finance Committee, and is an attorney and wants to go in front of the zoning board or the planning board or the Board of Selectmen. Without special municipal employee status, they would not be able to do that. And the purpose of that, not allowing them to do that, is so that people don't think there's some kind of unfair advantage to that person who is
Who
the
has
chairman of
a-
the
has a
Finance Committee.
position like that,
Exactly, yeah.
right.
To the appearance sometimes. It's just the appearance, to me, it's a lot of time just the appearance that it gives to people, so.
So my first question is that if this isn't the original list and this is the pared-down list, it appears to selectively include some groups or some committees, but not others, and you may raise the question of why some committees are and some committees aren't on this list that was provided to me, which is dated January 13, 2014. So how, does anyone on the board understand how this group of people were determined that this was the last time this was reviewed, which I assume was last year, because you're supposed to do this on an annual basis?
Right.
Why that is? Because it seems a little selective as far as like the Finance Committee Secretary and the Planning Board Secretary are included, but no other secretary and any other board are included.
First of
What
all,
makes those two secretaries more unique than any other secretary on any other
That's
board?
reporting.
I know a couple years ago, we gave people that, when they were appointed, the opportunity to ask if they wanted to be a special
Remember that.
municipal
Yeah, we did.
employee. And
That was
it
a Board
was
of
actually a
Health.
very heated discussion. It was there were a lot of 2-3, 3-2 votes, and that's probably why the list is as long as it is, I think. So,
Okay.
and it also goes with, like, say Joe Schmo asked to be a special municipal employee. It's the position, it's not the person's name, it's the position, and anyone on that board. So if one person on the Council on Aging asked, can I please be a special municipal employee?
Everyone.
And we granted it, then everybody on that board is a special municipal. It's really, it's confusing. It's meant to help, but it's very confusing,
Okay.
like a lot of things.
Oh, yeah, this is confusing.
Yes.
To follow up with what Bob said, is why is planning board on here, but yet we don't have conservation zoning board on there?
Planning board specifically, 2 years ago, made a request that they be on here.
And conservation,
They
ZBA did not?
No. No.
So this is the current list, and if others wanted to be, they'd have to petition,
Yeah,
right?
and that's
Right.
basically what the policy says. Every
Right.
year, if a new member comes onto a committee or something happens where a committee member wants to request special municipal employee status, they certainly have the opportunity to do that.
And
Andy, is it true that you have to request it, you just can't be appointed? The Board of Selectmen can't just make a decision to appoint someone as a special?
Well, I guess that's up to the
It's a position
board.
first.
Is that a board decision? Because in reading the regulation, or what is the rationale behind it, it suggests that the people have to request the
That's our
special-
policy.
That's our
the
policy, but
yeah.
does the board have the right to override that and just deem somebody we think should be special and make it special just by a vote?
I would
on our
imagine
own?
they can.
I would imagine
wanna-
we
if
could,
they-
yeah.
If they
I
want to
don't
go
think we
against the
do that,
policy, they
though.
certainly could, yes.
The idea is to try to keep the list as small as possible.
Right, it should be granted only in very limited circumstances. That's what the state, that's from the state. That's what they say, it should be very
Right,
limited
and-
circumstances.
And I did that research, so it's like, the list, although it's not huge, it does
It
encompass
was
a lot
huge,
of.
it was huge.
This list seems to be huge, so.
Not compared to what it was, Bob, honestly.
I agree,
Yeah.
I'm not,
And I think what we were trying to get at when we pared down the list is, and I think the policy speaks to that, is committees or, committees that have, authority, regulatory authority, policymaking authority. They kind of have a little bit more cachet as far as committees go.
Uh-huh.
Because, again, if somebody from that committee went in front of another board or committee, the appearance to somebody sitting in the audience may be, oh, this guy has an in because he sits on this board or this committee.
so I asked this question. The Joint Water Commission, commissioners don't seem to be on here,
No, they wouldn't have, if they had requested it, they certainly could have requested it, and,
and the DPW commissioner, who just recently appointed, hasn't requested this, but I would seem to feel that that would be where.
well, it doesn't apply to.
Well, that was actually in the special act that was passed by the legislature. It was specified that any division head within the Department of Public Works could also serve simultaneously as director without it being a violation of the conflict of interest law. So that was dealt with in the creation of the position
That's the
specifically.
representation of the water group that he was part of before he became the DPW
Sewer.
commissioner, right? A I
Sewer,
mean, the sewer
correct,
department.
correct. So he is serving as the Public Works Director as well as sewer
But is
superintendent.
it only extended for the sewer issue, and the other issue it's not extended to them? Or is it a carte blanche because he was on the sewer commission before he became the DPW?
I'm sorry, he was a sewer superintendent and he,
Before he became the sewer superintendent?
yes. No, actually, anybody, if, that is carte blanche. You can serve as the Director of the Public Works as well as function as one of the department head of one of the divisions within the Public Works Department.
Okay.
That's part of the legislative act, though, so that's specific to that
That's a
animal.
gray area
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'm not questioning Mr. Stone at all, but I'm just saying I'm questioning the rules and how it reads out. That in his formation of his job title, he was given the right to represent what he formerly did as a commissioner on the sewer, and that.
Well, again, he's not a
that
commissioner.
That in itself,
Right.
however, that in itself gives him, he doesn't have to be designated as a special in order to do any representation as part of as the DPW commissioner, where he is negotiating in the best interest of the town for all the other functionality that job required.
I would, again, just distinguish, he's not a commissioner, he's a sewer superintendent. The commission continues in its role, rate setting, et cetera. So that's not a function of the sewer superintendent or the DPW director. So the role of the sewer commissioner stays the same.
But the role of the DPW superintendent intertwines with other functions outside of the sewer,
Yes.
which is in the best interest of the town. I'm just trying to follow the logic of the rule. In the best interest of the town, he has multitask requirements in his role as DPW.
Correct.
Outside of the sewer commission role.
Correct, yes.
I just want to make sure we're covered with any aspects of, he's supposed to act in the best interest of the town, if I read this correctly, while doing his
Whichever
primary
role
function,
he's
which is the DPW superintendent. But he doesn't need to have this
He does not need to have it,
covered.
it's covered within the, correct, yes.
All right.
It's covered, yes.
So now, with this existing list from 2014, my question, did we receive anything from anyone else? Any other areas that wanted to?
No, not since February 10th, 2014 was the planning board edition.
The planning board, that's,
Yeah,
yeah.
nothing since that time.
So is our idea here to, is to go through it again? Like, I'm wondering,
Well, that's what we're
fence
supposed
viewer,
to-
do we have? a
That's what we're
fence-
supposed to do.
All right,
That's
that's what I was thinking.
yeah, If you're going to take it away, you're supposed to do it by a vote of that individual position.
Yeah.
If you're going to grant it, you're supposed to do it by a vote of that individual. You shouldn't do it just as a blanket grant of everybody on this list.
Right,
It's, I
exactly.
think even
So
the
if we
statute says that.
deny someone or we take it away from them, now they have to come back to us and apply again.
Yep,
They would.
And we can vote anytime you want
Yep.
according to the rule.
We
that's
could.
correct.
Right.
It's like for instance, I see the first one, Tri-Town Development Corporation. There really is no Tri-Town Development.
Is that still in existence, the
Didn't-
Tri-Town
didn't-
Development
No, it's the.
Corporation
the
Advisory Board member, wasn't that?
That's what it says, advisory. So does that have to
That's
be
not, that's not,
replaced by?
that's not Chris Aiello, but wasn't Joe Shea?
Joe Shea
Yeah,
was
is that still in
that.
existence? Is that particular position still in existence?
That animal, I don't believe exists. It was an animal of the development itself. That wasn't a specific Abington.
South Shore.
It was a,
If there is an advisory board or not,
I'm not sure if there is. or
probably
not.
not. The legislation might have done it. Maybe we should check on that.
Yeah.
yes, they were.
That's the other good thing about going through
Go
this, because
through
some
it.
of these
Right, no, I'm,
Yeah.
positions no
I
longer
don't think
exist.
there is a tri-town
yes,
development anymore.
I don't think so either, but do we want to
I
hold
would
off
check
and
on that.
review
We
can
that?
double check,
Want
but
to
I-
take something
I'm
away that doesn't.
Right.
very confident that's the situation, yeah.
Are we good to go through this list? I didn't mean to jump into that if we're, because I mean,
Well, why don't, if you want to do it that way, why don't we go through it, and if someone has a question, we'll just take that one out,
sure.
you know?
All right, so we're going to check on that Tri-Town Development Corporation Advisory Board.
Sure.
Next one on here is fence viewer.
Don't understand why.
Who is the fence viewer at
Is
this
that the
point?
building?
Historically, that has been a function of the highway superintendent. So now it's a function within the Public Works Department, but it's not an individual. It's a function, a task, so.
In days gone by, it used to be a part-time
Right,
position.
right.
Right, but it's.
I don't think
right,
it exists anymore, so I'm
Yeah,
not
So
sure.
can
For
we
the purposes of
eliminate that?
ensuring that there's no statutory problem with the DPW superintendent telling the highway superintendent that you're my fence viewer, I prefer we just leave it on the list for now.
You want to leave it on?
Okay, leave it on.
So I would move that we continue the fence viewer with special municipal employee status.
Okay. Do you want a second on that, or do we want to wait till we get to the whole list?
Yeah, I think you do them, right?
Okay, so far, we're saying,
I think you do it one at
Yay.
a time.
One at a time, right?
I think one at a
Okay.
time.
I'll second that then.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that stays on the list. Abington Arts Council. I would imagine that still exists. Yep, it does.
Still exists.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Cultural
Standing
council.
board,
Well,
yes.
I'll make a motion that we remove special municipal employee status from members of the Abington Arts Council.
Remove it?
Yes.
Do I have a second on that?
I second. I don't understand why they
Why,
would need it.
why
Can't imagine.
remove it if they
Why?
got it?
Because I don't think, special municipal status should be granted only in very limited circumstances. I mean, just because they're on the list now, it doesn't mean that they should have it.
I'm trying to figure out what an Abington Arts Council would.
It's actually
negotiate
known
outside
as the
the-
Cultural Council, you
Cultural
might have heard,
Council.
yeah, the Cultural Council.
Oh, then never
That's-
mind, no more.
That's,
Do we need to
Who
rename
is
it?
on that committee?
There's about 9.
Shouldn't matter, it's the position, not the
No, I
person.
know it shouldn't, but I want to know.
It's really called the Cultural Council.
Yes.
I'm going to vote to
It's
remove all of them, so just to give you the heads, I'm going to make the motion for all of them, just to give you the heads up.
Okay.
So I guess it doesn't matter who's on it then.
No?
It shouldn't, it's a position anyway. But, so it's really the Cultural Council. We've got a motion on the floor to remove special municipal status from that position.
There was a second.
And there was a second.
Was there a second?
I did.
Oh, Bob seconded.
Bob did, okay.
So
Discussion? All those in favor of removing them from special municipal status?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that's three, so they retain
This
it.
is going to drag on.
Yep. Council on Aging,
Make a motion to remove special municipal employee status for Council on Aging.
is there a second? Second, okay. Discussion? Nope, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye. Three, the key stays on. The Finance Committee,
Make a motion to remove special municipal employee status of the Finance Committee.
I'd second that. And again, I think this falls clearly within what the policy looks at.
Oh, I see the way this is going to go.
It's a committee that has a great deal of authority, so I think this would be a committee that should not have special municipal employee status.
okay, so we've got a motion and a second. Discussion? Okay, all those in favor of removing special municipal status from the Finance Committee?
Aye.
Was that three people?
Mhm.
And all those opposed?
Aye.
Two. That is removed. Okay, Strawberry Valley Golf Course Committee.
Ditto.
Ditto two.
Set for a motion and a second. Discussion. All those in favor of removing special municipal status from Strawberry Valley Golf Course Committee?
Aye.
Aye.
That's 2. All those opposed?
Aye.
3. Okay, Griffin's Dairy Committee.
Are they still in existence?
I
Yeah.
think they
They
are.
are.
They are.
Make a motion to remove special municipal employee status for the Griffin's
Second.
Dairy Committee.
All discussion? All those in favor of removing?
Aye.
Aye. That's 3. Is that, and those opposed?
That was 3?
Yeah.
Wow.
So 3 to 2?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's removed.
curveball there.
Hey, don't. So that's removed. Griffin's Dairy, that's different, okay, so they stay, Griffin's Dairy is removed. Historical Commission,
I'm a member of the Historical Commission, but I don't need it.
I'll
I
motion.
can't get it anyway, so.
Motion that the historical commission
Doesn't matter to you.
be removed from the list.
I'll second that.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 I'm gonna aye that too, so now we're at
the other two
4 to
ones.
Make it
1.
unanimous, Alex, come on.
Everybody removing it.
That'll be the one
That was
group Dennis
unanimous.
Bergen will say, wait, I
No,
wouldn't.
I don't think so.
Okay, Abington Housing Partnership,
We go over this all the time. That's still around, right?
is that the housing board, is it like?
No, it's a different one. There is no partnership now, right?
Well, there was, yeah, that's right, I remember there was one member on there, and then, yeah, I think at your last meeting, I think that got dissolved, actually.
I don't believe there is
Can-
a partnership, because we actually talked about that.
It was-
If a
that's
40B
right.
were to come before us, we would have to establish it.
Reestablish, that's correct.
So that's off.
So do we have to make a motion on that, or just remove it?
Yeah,
to
I'd
make
make
a
the
motion.
motion to remove it then.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna vote no, just to mess things up. No, I'm in favor.
Okay, so that's actually unanimous there.
sorry.
Board of Library Trustees,
Make a motion to remove special municipal employee status.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Aye. That's, they retain that. The moderator.
Make a motion to remove the special municipal employee status of the moderator.
Second that.
Second on that. Discussion?
I think it's another one of those roles where it's critical that we have that, these people represent the town and the best interest of the town. I believe it's a good idea to remove him,
Well,
of them, whatever.
An appearance of impartiality, that's right.
well, I don't agree with that. That's part of his livelihood. I don't agree with that.
I'm not trying to affect his livelihood, I'm just trying to.
Well,
look at
you
the
are
best
by
interest of the
doing that.
town. That's
You
what
are
I'm
by
supposed to
doing
do
that,
by this
yeah,
rule, is do
yeah.
the best interest of the
Yeah.
town, so.
Further discussion? All right, so the motion on the floor is to remove special municipal employee status from the moderator. It's been out there in a second. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
So is that 3? And those opposed?
Aye.
2. That's removed. Deputy moderator.
Motion to remove the deputy moderator.
Second.
Okay, further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? 2.
That's kind of a weird position, because you never know you don't know who the deputy moderator is.
It's appointed that
Right,
night.
it's a
every
position.
No,
time.
so it's.
It doesn't matter who the person is, it's the position.
And
it could only be for an hour.
But you just spoke about the moderator, how it was a person, so.
Well, the moderator
For an
is.
hour.
The moderator is a specific person. We don't have a deputy moderator.
Yeah,
Oh, we
there's
do.
not-
Actually, we had Mike Franey was the deputy moderator.
That was at the
Yes.
last town meeting. It's appointed at the town
Yeah.
meeting.
All right,
The
so
moderator is not appointed at each town meeting.
No,
that's an elected position. Yeah. So did we have a vote on that, deputy moderator?
yes.
That was a 3-2 or a 4-2?
Three
I
to
think
two.
it was 3 to 2.
3 to 2.
2 again. Okay, that's removed as well.
Yep.
Park and Recreation Commission.
Make a motion to remove the special municipal employee status.
Do we have a second on that?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, so a vote to remove from Park and Rec Commission? How many to remove? 2, those 2 retain? Alex, what are you on? Are you opposed, right? So they retain that?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Planning Board. Ken?
Make a motion to remove the special municipal employee status of the planning board.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Only because they made a fairly reasoned plea as to why a couple of members needed it at
I
that 10-14 meeting.
I remember that.
I would
Are those
say.
members still on the board?
They are, yes.
Well, they can come back and do it
They
again
can,
if they get voted
they
down.
get that. Yep, you're right.
I love drag-on meetings.
So all those in favor of removing special municipal status, employee status from the planning board?
Me?
1, 2, and all those opposed? 3. They retain that.
Yep.
Registrar of Voters.
Make a motion to remove the special municipal employee status of the registrar of voters.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed? 3, 2 to 3, they retain. School Committee.
Motion to remove the special municipal employee status of the school committee.
Second.
Okay, discussion about School Committee?
Did the school committee come before this board and request it? Or were they just given it?
Well, I think way back, they all came in front of us.
Anybody that's on the list came before,
Yeah,
Yeah.
or at least one member of that board.
look to come.
We also had them write in things. I think they had to, like,
Yeah.
say why there was an application and this type of thing.
Is there a mechanism for an exemption?
I don't believe so.
Someone on the school committee wants to go to conservation for their neighbor or whatever.
I don't believe that there's an
There's no
exemption.
mechanism for
Well, they
that.
can go
either.
with their
They can go.
neighbor.
No, to
Not
represent them.
Not represent them. They can go and speak.
Right, but they
Give
can't
their
go-
opinion, but they
And there's
can't
no
go.
one-time form that they can fill out to
Not
do it.
to my
Okay.
knowledge.
I believe so. All right, so the motion is to remove special municipal employee status from school committee members. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's 3. All those opposed? 2. That's removed. Veterans Memorial.
Make a motion to remove the special municipal employee status of Veterans Memorial. Sound
Second.
like a tape recorder.
Okay, so motion made and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor of removing special municipal employee status from Veterans Memorial?
Aye.
Aye.
That's 2. All those retain, opposed? That's 3. So that they retain that as well. Animal Control Officer.
Do we have one?
We don't
No.
have one, so.
I would suggest that you should remove this, and should there be a reason in the future, we'll request it.
Right.
Okay. Motion?
Motion to remove animal control officer from the list.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Why is it when he says something, everybody votes in favor?
The person doesn't exist anymore. The position doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
Position doesn't
Makes
exist
sense.
anymore. I'm sorry, that's removed. I made my notes wrong. Finance Committee Secretary, I think you mean Reporting Secretary, right?
That's right.
Yes, it's the recording.
It's not the Secretary of the Finance Committee, so.
Correct, yes.
So, a motion?
Which, just, if you're going to make, I don't know if you're going to make the motion, but I think somebody like this actually needs the status, Rick, correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong, but to be able to do their job.
You come
then
in,
also-
works,
He's a full-time employee and.
That is
considered
correct.
a part-time employee.
Right.
So I think this is really.
That would
One of the
result-
initial reasons special municipal employee status was actually
That's the
set up, was
core.
for these types of positions.
correct. We would have to, obviously, find someone else to
Right.
perform that role if you were to rescind it.
So Rick, what you're saying is,
should.
I shouldn't vote against it.
He thinks it's a good idea.
I don't know, we can talk about it.
Is that the same for the Planning Board Secretary? Do we
Correct.
want to hit both at
Yes.
the same time?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so I'll take a motion, or no motion at all, or?
Motion to keep the financial committee recording secretary on the list.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Ken?
Yeah, I voted yes.
Yes.
Motion to keep the planning board secretary as a special municipal
Second.
employee. so.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, great. Thank you. They keep. Okay, so next, Abington representative of the Board of Directors of the South Shore Tri-Town Development Corporation. Is that different than
There is
the
no
first
South Shore
one?
Tri-Town Development Corporation. That was,
Aren't they going in front of different people?
Oh, Development Corporation as opposed to the Advisory Board.
well, this is now the, whatever they call themselves, the
Union
new
Point?
entity over there.
Union Point?
Oh, yes, the redevelopment authority, yes.
Redevelopment, yeah.
So this is the Chris Aiello position that
That's
he's
correct.
currently.
That's correct, yes.
Right. Let me think about this one. So he's oftentimes coming in front of us to represent that. If he held-
He's reporting to the board. He's an appointee of the board to that. He's not an employee of that organization. So he reports back to this board based upon your appointment of him to the redevelopment authority. But he does, again, function on that board as a, in
Who pays
with a
him?
legal role.
They do.
He does get paid. Who pays him?
He does.
I,
The
Union
redevelopment
Point.
authority
Pay him.
pays him, yes.
So he is an
Applies to
employee.
keep-
He serves at the will of this board, though. But I'm just suggesting this, it's a little bit of a different animal than what
Yes.
you're used to seeing here, that's all.
Yeah.
What you do with it, that's I'm not going to provide an opinion, Kenny.
I was just gonna ask you, what's your opinion?
It's probably wise to keep it on.
I'm thinking this, I'm going to vote to keep it on, but,
Motion to keep on
all right,
representative to whatever they're calling it.
can we
now.
fix the name of that, too?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
All right, so
By
motion,
town
South,
development,
isn't
yeah.
it?
That
The
was
Southfield redevelopment
it's
authority?
Union Point now, right?
But I
yes.
believe it's a Southfield
Redevelopment
redevelopment.
Okay, so
authority.
Southfield.
That name may
Southfield.
change, so the next time you see
Yeah.
this, the name will also be outdated, probably.
So
so.
motion to keep that one.
Second.
Okay, discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
One opposed, two opposed?
Yep.
Two opposed, but that retains. Administrative Assistant to the Board of Selectmen, Zoning Board of Appeals, and Conservation Commission.
That's sort of the same thing as.
Same
the-
thing as this Finance Committee
Yeah.
secretary.
So I vote
Yeah.
to leave them on.
Second.
And all those in favor of retaining that status?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Summer Concerts Committee.
Make a motion to remove the special municipal employee status of the Summer Concerts Committee.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? 3. That retains. Tricentennial Committee, which I don't think
They
exists
don't
anymore.
exist anymore,
We
right?
can
So we
remove
can
that.
strike that?
Motion to remove Tricentennial Committee.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. School Building Committee, that's still in existence, right?
Did
Oh,
that
it
for
is,
a
yeah.
while more.
They are, right? Okay.
But they, yeah, that's not gonna be forever, but I
Right,
think
but-
there are some people on there who are similar in functions to like the planning board secretary and that kind of thing.
Is that the big committee, though? Wasn't
Yeah.
there like 20 people on it?
There's, I think there's
12?
about 15 now.
Yeah.
13, something.
Okay. So, School Building Committee, anyone want to make a motion to retain or remove their special municipal employee status?
Move they retain the status.
Move that they retain. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 3. Those opposed?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to abstain from that one.
Okay, so
I don't know.
4 yes, 1 abstain.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. You're all over the place.
I am.
Elected and voluntary members of the Abington Public Schools, school councils at Abington High School, Frollo, Woodsdale, Beaverbrook, and Center Schools.
What does this represent?
This is people who are on the school council?
Yes.
So is
Each
that?
council for each.
That's not the
Particular
PTA.
school, yeah. They requested this back a couple of years ago.
That's not PTA or anything like that.
No, they have
That's-
the individual school council for
Yes.
each
Okay.
particular school.
but then do they have to go back and represent their school before it's the school committee?
No, they're parents. They're generally parents who are serving on the
Okay.
school councils.
So,
Who appoints them?
The school committee or the principal, I think, of each particular school, maybe, I'm not sure, but
why,
maybe the principal of each
why
particular
would they
school.
need special
Oh,
municipal?
yeah, they
employees?
serve it just advisory to the administration
Yeah.
of each school.
I'm making a motion to remove special municipal employee status of all of them.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those are,
Opposed.
so 3 and opposed. Alex, what are you? You're 4?
Which one are we on?
The last one.
Keep them.
Okay, so it's 3-2, so it's getting removed.
No, it's staying.
Oh, it's
Staying.
staying.
Or did
Oh,
you
the
vote-
motion was to stay, no, wait, time again?
Motion was to
Motion was to
remove.
remove.
Okay, and it was 3, okay, so they keep.
Right.
Sorry, guys, it's getting late. Not really, it's just a long list. That's the end of the
Less
list.
long next year.
Yeah, less long last year. So, you guys have that. Okay, thank you.
That's an annual thing we have to do.
Yes.
Sandy?
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. The list gets longer, gets shorter. This could have shockwaves, who knows? All right, so there you go, that was number 4. Number 5, discuss Whitman's request for an establishment of a heavy commercial vehicle exclusion zone on Washington Street, beginning at the intersection of Auburn Street in Whitman to the intersection of 18 in Abington. So that's almost all of Washington Street, right? Right down.
Auburn Street and Whitman.
So it's.
Route 14.
Strawberry Valley.
All the
From
way
Strawberry,
down.
all the way down
to
past the
intersection of-
Frollo.
No,
oh,
just,
oh.
I think,
No,
Rick will tell you, but I think it's
Okay.
just at the intersection of Route 18 and Washington Street.
Correct.
Just that little
Correct.
span.
Oh, I
Area
see,
across the
yeah,
street from
okay.
the golf course.
Exactly.
Oh, all right, just that tiny little.
Short.
Just that small
Right.
piece.
Probably.
Oh, I-
So they're trying to eliminate big trucks going through the center, Whitman
Whitman
Center.
Center.
Correct.
They can't hook that left.
Right, they're trying to keep them on,
On
Route
18.
18.
Route 18 to
That's
14 as
exactly
opposed
right.
to cutting through
Go-
the center.
hooking through.
And I think this was born from some constituent complaints,
Okay.
residential, in those residential areas
So
around.
it's only a very short
Like a
area.
quarter of a mile.
Yeah, if that, yeah.
But Whitman is unable to proceed without the support of the Board of Selectmen in Abington, so
Should I read their request?
please.
Okay, so we received a request dated August 3rd from the Office of the Selectmen in Whitman. Says, I am writing to seek your support and approval of your Board of Selectmen in cooperation with the town of Whitman to petition the Massachusetts Highway Department to designate Washington Street, beginning in Whitman at the intersection of Auburn Street, and continue north into Abington to the intersection of Route 18 as heavy commercial vehicle exclusion zone. As you know, we've been experiencing an extraordinary high rate of commercial vehicles traveling north on Washington Street from the intersection of Route 14 and Washington Street in East Bridgewater north to Abington, where Washington Street connects with Route 18. The area on Washington in Whitman between Auburn Street and our town center, as well as the area from Park Avenue north to Abington line, is mostly residential in nature, and these vehicles are creating a quality of life issue. In addition, Washington Street from Auburn Street north to the town line was repaved last year, and continuing the run of heavy commercial vehicles will certainly damage the road in a few short years. On December 8th, 2015, I placed a request with the Old Colony Planning Council to conduct a traffic study to determine if the exclusion would be appropriate. Due to scheduling demands, the study was not completed until late May and provided to the towns of Whitman and Abington on June 6th of this year. The study confirms heavy commercial vehicle traffic and supports the establishment of an HCVE zone. I would also note that the residents in the area to be designated have reported heavy truck traffic in excess of 150 vehicles a day. It should also be noted that smaller streets accessed from Washington Street are residential neighborhoods. Attached as a map. We greatly appreciate the town of Abington's support and concurrence with our request. So that is what they're requesting. That very small triangle of area there. I entertain a motion so we can further discuss.
Motion to approve the request from the town of Whitman to make this short piece of Abington property commit to the zoning structure as requested.
Second.
Any further discussion on this? Yes.
Yeah, how does this work? Do we have to contact the state? It's not a state highway, or is it just, do we put signs up there and then
No,
sit out there and wait for trucks to go by, or how does it work?
Assume it's on us to do.
Yeah, we are going to, well, actually, Whitman is going to make a request, and we're going to support that request to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to make that an exclusion zone, a heavy equipment truck exclusion zone. So they're going to take the lead on it. We're simply going to provide letters of support for that effort, but it does have to go through the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Does Abington have any other exclusion zones that you're aware of in town?
Off the top of my head, I'm not aware of any, but the question has come up in a couple other areas recently that, so.
Would it be appropriate for us to contact our DPW and the police to see if this is something that they have an opinion on? Or?
Just verbally, I'm aware that nobody has a concern with the request of Whitman, but I don't have a written opinion from either.
That works.
Be happy to provide one
If you've spoken to them,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
So it still comes down to Mass Highway saying yes or no? We're
That
just
is
asking
correct.
that they do that.
That's correct. There's no reason to believe that it won't. It complies with the requirements to meet, to get an exemption, but, so it's really, at this point, it ought to be just a formality, but doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight, so.
So on every one of our town roads, if we wanted to do something like this, we have to petition Mass DOT, or just on that road because it's a numbered road?
That has state implications, yes. But
It's
no,
not a numbered
no,
road.
the Board of Selectmen does have authority
Part of Route 27?
with regard to roads that strictly under the jurisdiction of the town. The Board of Selectmen has jurisdiction with regard to heavy equipment exclusion zones. That's my understanding, but happy to confirm that.
So you're saying if it was an Abington Town Road, for instance?
Purely a town road without any state implications whatsoever.
Then we'd have our...
Correct.
But this is different because it comes out onto a
And it
state
also
road, and
impacts routes.
Connects to
both
Yeah,
sides.
14.
Yeah,
It impacts
okay.
actually 3 routes.
Correct.
14, 27, and 18.
27 and
so.
18, yeah.
So, all those in favor of supporting Whitman's request? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Number 6 on our agenda is the Abington Lions Club request for a one-day liquor license, August 23rd, 2016, Abington Senior Center, 5 PM to 11. Ken, are you taking this one up?
If I could,
Just for disclosure, I'm on the Lions Club, but I don't have any financial interest in whether or not this happens. It's a volunteer
Right.
committee, so.
this is not a fundraiser, so to speak, either. I'm actually chairman of this event, so I'll probably abstain from the vote, but if I could, I could just want to explain what I can go to the microphone if you prefer, but.
Why don't you do that?
I will.
I'm kidding.
Okay. This will be the 4th year in a row that we've had a district-wide Lions Club event that Abington Lions have hosted. It's at the Senior Center, where we rented the hall. We've used the same company, Bartending Services of New England, LLC. They've donated their services, and they bring in a complete bar. They have tips-trained waitresses, bartenders, I should say. They charge for the drinks. They make any money that gets made. They have an insurance policy. I don't happen to have it here, but as soon as I get it, I will forward it to the town manager. They probably have it on file from the last couple of years, so I'd just like approval. The bar will be open from 6 to 10. It's at the Abington Senior Center, so I guess that's...
Oh, the bar will be, this says 5 to 11.
Usually it's for the setup ahead of
The
time. Breakdown.
bartenders are getting there at 4:30, but the bar is not open till 6.
And I think we've consistently done that. We give them like an hour ahead for setup and an hour after for
So
breakout.
we'll go with 5 to 11, just,
And this is just an event?
I'll be in bed by 11, so.
yeah.
This is just an event for the Lions Club?
For the
not
Lions
public.
District, yes, it's, yes.
It's not open to the public.
It's just to Lions Clubs, district-wide.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
And all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And Andy,
I'm recusing
are
myself.
you also
I don't know what recuse, I'm abstaining.
abstaining? Okay, so that's unanimous, the 3 that are here, or 3 and 2, however you want to look at it.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
good. Thank you. Good luck, good luck. Enjoy yourself. All right, so that takes us down to town manager's report. Rick, you wanna give
Yes,
us
a few things. First, I think Griffin's Dairy is a little bit of the issue of the day, as you know. Despite my report to you at the end of last week, there was an appeal to the order of conditions approved by the Conservation Commission last week, or 2 weeks ago, and in response, we'll certainly be doing what we have to procedurally to hasten that as much as we can through the process. But in the meantime, we will be meeting out there in the very near future, some of us, including youth soccer and other youth sports advocates, to determine what can be done outside of the particular jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission so that the upcoming fall season isn't adversely impacted. So we'll keep you informed as that moves along. Next issue is this past week on Wednesday, we had a first meeting of what the beginnings of a business or association or council with some help from the Old Colony Planning Council. We've tried to strategize how to get some momentum behind us and trying to achieve this goal of the Board of Selectmen. We had approximately 10 business owners. We had invited about 20 to just a planning meeting. We did have some people who were invited who unfortunately couldn't attend, but they're very enthusiastic. So it was, I think, a very positive meeting. The people there were very interested in helping to revive what apparently used to be an active organization in town. Well, this was held at the Ale House, and Mary Costello and the staff there really, did a nice job hosting our group, especially when you don't know how many to expect. It's a challenge, so we want to thank her. We did get some good input how to expand the circle and trying to plan the next meeting and how best to address the entire business community and schedule a broader meeting with a little more of a impetus behind the goal here and the mission of such an organization. So it was a really good discussion between, about what a business association can do and what value it can have to each other and to the town. So obviously we'll keep you informed. I was very happy with the excitement by many of them there. And in fact, I could almost envision some of them being some officers of that group right off the bat, and because it was very clear from the beginning that our goal is to pass the torch. as much as it's important that an organization like this be a good conduit between the government and the business community, the business community obviously has to run this organization. It can't be run by the government of the town. So, but again, it's in its, not even in its infancy, but it was a really good meeting, and we look forward to the next one. It was good to get some feedback, too, to make you realize just how little you do know in terms of the best way to approach the broader business community in terms of, even just in terms of, mail, how do people act, how do, people who are working, strange business hours, and, what do they react to, and, so how do we get to those people? How does the business group, as it grows, get to their fellow business owners in town? So a good strategy meeting. A lot of it is well beyond anything that we could have just come up with ourselves. So so I look forward to the energy behind that group. So we'll, again, keep you informed. One question that has come up, and also is, as you all know, at the annual town meeting, the Community Preservation Act was put in place subject to approval at the ballot, which happened, or vice versa. We do need to have a committee put in place by the Board of Selectmen. So we'll be advertising that, hopefully, and then your next meeting or one of your next couple meetings, you'll be in a position to appoint members to that committee. So there has been interest already, which is positive. I know that's not a surprise based upon, what it takes to get something like that passed at the ballot box. And
Just, did you say you have advertised, or you will be advertising for the spots, or?
it'll be up there. I didn't want to put it up there really until it was mentioned to the board publicly, just as a courtesy, so.
We do have a couple of applications.
Yeah.
Good.
So-
Can I ask a question about that, too? Now, when will there be funds available from that tax portion? Is it immediately, I mean, will it be ready for springtime?
No.
So it'll be a year, it'll be 20?
Correct. However, to the extent that it takes time to start distributing and collecting information from and requests for funding, that takes time. So it'll be important to have a group in place this fall,
absolutely, but
preparing for annual town meeting.
This town meeting, there will not be, no.
And we don't get any state money this year, is that correct?
You wouldn't. That's correct. Last thing, just to bring up, really, I guess you'd call it a shout-out to the people at Lowe's Hardware. That's probably understating the organization, but Lowe's is donating $2,500 in materials and labor to the efforts to rehabilitate the cabin in the woods, it's being called, within Island Grove. And I know some of you have been down there. I think between the Public Works Department and volunteers, they've done a nice job of making that a viable facility for community groups to schedule through the Park and Rec within the Public Works Department. So to the extent that that's a direct contribution, we don't need a gift account for that, but I think it's important, number one, to recognize that, and also to the extent that encourages additional donations, that wouldn't hurt either. So I just want to point that out. So, and that's all I have for now.
Okay. You guys have any questions for the town manager?
That's not on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda.
Question
This isn't
for the
either,
time.
but
Just kidding.
the signed bylaw review committee, have you solicited
Oh, yeah.
requests from the planning board or the zoning board?
Yes, we requested the planning
You
board
did.
and the zoning board at their next meetings to make the appointment
And how about the posting for the other two positions?
for the business.
Business and the resident?
Resident at large.
Are those posted on
Those
the
are
website?
posted as well, yeah.
No,
Haven't had any response yet.
so if anybody's interested in serving on the town signed bylaw review committee, please go on the website and apply.
We're
And we
looking
still have to
for
do
an-
a selectman
right.
appointee as well.
We're looking
so.
for an Abington resident, and we're looking for an Abington resident that is a business owner.
That's right.
Correct.
And there will be, how many did we say is going to be on there in total? Did we say five?
That would make 5.
Correct.
Five.
So next
Next,
meeting, we might want to have
think we might.
Selectman
yeah,
appointee,
yeah.
at least.
When is our next meeting, by the
I
way?
was just going to ask that too, because we're off weeks, so
September 6th.
September 6th?
Yes.
our next meeting is September 6th?
No, September 12th, excuse
12th?
me.
Yeah.
Sorry, September 12th.
Yes,
Second, yeah.
second, correct, yes.
All right. Well, that, I believe that covers our action discussion items, public comment. Anything from the public? All right, so we're going to put together an agenda for September 12th. We have a couple things on here. We'll address a couple other things, and we have a couple things to sign. All right, so.
Executive session?
Yeah, we
Oh,
will
yeah,
have to
okay.
go into executive, what's that?
You have to make that motion.
Oh, all right, I have to, that's right. So we're done with so anyway, so executive session, we have a motion, I'm going to need a motion to enter into executive session for the purposes of strategies pertaining to Abington Managers Association collective bargaining agreement and not to reconvene to open session.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all those, we have to do a roll call. Bob?
Yay.
Alex?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Yes.
Kenny? And the chairman votes yes. Thank you very much, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, have a good night, have a good week.